Welcome guys, I am Sanju Ganjir and today we will discuss the one of the most interesting and one of the most uh, important mechanism which used in the vehicle, and it is all about the suspension system. Suspension system, not a suspension system, but it works a very important role uh, in the suspension system, and which the directional movement, the directional control of any vehicle is totally depend on the steering system. So here the topic today, our topic of the today is the steering system. So here on your screen you all see the independent front suspension. Independent front suspension. So what is the meaning of independent front suspension? So let's start with a quick approach or quick logic. So start. So normally in this is our steering system, so it is totally about the steering geometry. Remember, steering geometry. Okay, so no doubt this is totally about the steering geometry. So now we discuss the before we discussing this independent front suspension, we know in the past cars or mostly of the cars we use the conventional rigid suspension, conventional rigid axle suspension. So what it is, so just talk about it. Conventional rigid axle suspension, conventional rigid axle suspension. And what happened in this axle, in this suspension? So here the main axle beam ensures, in the case of rigid axle suspension system, the main axle beam ensures the movement of stub axles. So main axle beam ensures the movement of stub axle, the movement of stub axle. Okay, in the horizontal plane only, in the horizontal plane only. Okay, that means in our rigid conventional rigid axle suspension, that means we use already in the past cars or we use in the current cars. So in this case only the movement of horizontal axle beams are provided, not a vertical. That means here in this diagram the movement in the conventional system, this are moving just about the horizontal plane. But now there is no vertical deflection. There is no vertical deflection. Yeah, remember it. There is no vertical deflection. So many of times when even when we are driving, then some difficulties, or you can say when some road difficulties are there. So the actual movement of the tires or the wheels are not working properly. So we need a mechanism or a system that helps also vertical deflection, that controls the vertical deflection. So there are two I showing you with these colors. There are wishbone arm and this is your track rod arm. So I discuss after this. So now, so no vertical deflection are make in this conventional rigid axle system. So now we remove these difficulties to acquiring the independent front suspension system. So here from the conventional in the conventional rigid system no vertical deflection are made. So there are no change in effective track rod length. So there is no changes in effective track rod length, effective track rod length. So there is no change because no vertical deflection. So now for arising of vertical deflection, we use in the current DICA independent front system. So what is independent front system? So let's talk. independent front suspension. So what is it? So now discuss. In this case, just it also helps to reduce or to make a vertical deflection. It controls the vertical deflection. That means when we move from the road, and if we have facing any vertical deflection, that means when tire moves uh, upward and downward, then how we control this? So this is controlled by the independent front suspension. So here the two stub axles can move up or down. Remember, two stub axles in this two stub axles can move up or down, up or down, independent of each other. Remember, one most common thing, independent of each other, of each other, independent of each other, due to which distance of the ball joint, due to which distance of the ball joint, ends of the two track rod, ball joint ends, distance of the ball joint ends of the two track rod arms continuously varies. Okay, so this is advantageous for as compared to conventional rigid system, and it is more useful nowadays because we are facing a lot of difficulties on the roads, some deeper section, and a lot of difficulties, the breakers, on the breakers. So we are using nowadays independent front system. So now we talk about the construction of the independent front system. Okay, so now let's start the construction. Here we see the object and we put a proper name for each and every part of this front axle suspension system. So here, starting from here, so you all know what is this? This is a steering wheel. So what is this? This is a steering wheel. Okay, so this is steering wheel. Now again moving to upward, then this is, what about this? This is your steering column. Steering column. Okay, steering column. Now further move to the just upward, this is the steering gearbox. So this controls the movement of this steering wheel. Then the directional movement is totally converted into the movement of this rod. So all the working are continuously be seen after the making of these parts, name of these parts. So this is your steering gearbox. Yeah, simply you can say this is your steering gear, and this is your cross shaft. So the movement of the steering wheel according to the steering column are controlled by the steering gear, and which make a movement. The movement of the steering wheel is converted with the help of cross shaft. So all the angular movement or the clockwise or anti-clockwise movement of the steering wheel are now converted, and the power is and the direction is totally supplied with this cross shaft. Now what about the further part? So these parts are the drop arm. What is this? This is your drop arm, remember. So now this yellow color line shows your relay rod. Remember, relay rod. Okay, and these two linkage, this one and this one, is the tie rods. What is this? Is the tie rods. Okay, so these two are the tie rods. Now again saying this is new, and because this is an independent front system, so wishbone arm are attached with the end of the track rod, and it is joined with the ball joint. Okay, so this is your bone arm. Again, this is your wishbone arm, and this is your front wheel. This is your front wheel of the right side, and this is the front wheel of the left side. And these arms, this these arms are track rod arm. Track rod arm. So what is in this? In this conventional rigid system, there is no change in this effective track rod arm because this provides only horizontal movement. But in the case of independent front system, when the wheels move up and down, then this wishbone arm controls their deflection. So the changes of the track rod arm are making here. So this is very continuously because the deflection of up and down also make deflect it. So these are changes continuously. So okay, this is a complete construction. And now here we move this side. This is an idler arm. This is your an idler arm. Idler arm. Okay. So this idler arm supported on body structure at the drop arm of steering gear. So steering gear supports this, okay, because this is relay rod, and also the movement of this steering gear is controlled by this idler arm. So it is okay. Now we can move to the steering geometry. How we effectively control the directional movement or effectively control the deflection by putting a correct geometry of steering. So here we talk about the steering geometry. So basically steering linkage are consist of different mechanism. This is steering linkage, and this is consist of a different mechanism I discuss you currently. So no further need to discuss. This is complete construction of the steering geometry. So now further moving the important angles, because here steering geometry. What is steering geometry? So firstly we know this steering geometry, so I make a definition for it. So what is steering geometry? So steering geometry is the representation of angular representation and obtaining relationship between this linkage and front wheels, this linkage, no, all the linkage, and this and the front wheel okay. So this is the angular representation. So there are some angle making between this steering wheel then and this the center of this line, and some angle is making between the center of this steering and this vertical line provided for to find an angle between steering and the wheels. So there are different types of angles. So first we know a much important thing. There are 5 common geometries or terms used in this steering system. So what the important angles pertaining to steering geometries are the follows. So here the important angle pertaining to steering geometry. So here we discuss all the angles, all the factors which are used to make the riding comfort or the steering comfort or the suspension comfort. So there are few angles or few keywords, or you can say a few terms which is used here. So steering geometry are as follow. So now firstly we put a name. So here then start discussing point to point. So first, your first term or an important term is a caster angle. Now first is caster Second one is camber. Remember, much more important than, because it handles the comfort riding, it controls the perfect steering geometry. So 1 2 caster and camber angle. Now let's about the third. This is the king pin inclination. King pin inclination. And next, your fourth one is toe in, and fifth one is toe out. Okay, so discuss all the terms point to point. So